Hello and welcome back to Tommy's Top Picks Weekly Roundup Podcast, episode 132. I'm your host, Tommy, joined by John.
How's it going?
Good. Surprisingly. I didn't think I'd be good right now, but I am.
We were out late.
We were out last night partying with friends, and we were like, we'll just do the podcast in the evening. And then, things happen. And here we are in the morning recording because
we managed.
We managed
a few minutes
to
before
survive.
end of the morning, or left of the morning.
We have 8 minutes left in the morning at the start of the podcast. So we're going to talk about what we played this week. We're going to be talking about some Magic, of course. We got the release of Bloomborough, Foundations on the horizon, and going to be talking about some Star Wars Unlimited, of course, because that's all I've been playing, really. But some opinions have changed on how I am engaging with Star Wars. And then we're going to talk, or probably at the beginning, we're going to talk about some Flesh and Blood, because we had Pro Tour Amsterdam. And there was a lot of Zen and New, and a lot of them in the top 8. But none of them ended up winning. So, let's start, as we always do, with what we played. We played something together. We have now done 2 nights of Commander together, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Got that Boros deck. I priced out that Boros deck.
Did you pull out the super expensive ones, like the Mordok and what was the other one? There's another one you had in there.
There's a bunch in there that were.
Yeah, I was flipping through because, like I said, a lot of those cards were in that one deck that I was working on, and I was looking at them. I was like, no.
Yeah. I was just like, Tabletop Simulator is fine.
Yeah, I don't need that. I don't need those cards.
No,
it works really well though. It was
it
really
does.
fast gnome
deck.
Ton
of fun. I want to make some changes to it. But basically, it's just bring out all the gnomes and then have a bunch of triggers when then those gnomes come out. They do different things, like give +1s,
give pluses, and make more gnomes. Basically,
make more gnomes.
It's like your entire universe is pluses and gnomes.
All you got to make
sure. It got crazy. How many gnomes did you have for the final swing?
We didn't make them all, but there would have been over 40.
No, it was over 80. It was like 80.
Oh, right, because it doubled and then doubled.
Yeah, doubled. He doubled his gnome creation, and it was bonkers. It was awesome. And your main guy was plus. I don't know if we ever did that math. I think it was already at plus 40 or something like that, right?
It would have been, yeah.
Yeah. So it was fun. It was funny. That was a bonkers turn and a bonkers game. My deck feels pretty good. There's some tweaks I want to make to it, but I actually like where it is generally. I found some additional lists out there that people had made and looked at their tech and was kind of like, okay, this I can see, that I don't really care about. This I can see. Like, there's a few things I'll tweak, including token doublers, because I do the Scion tokens. This is Azalesk. So it cares about token making and mana for big Eldrazi, and it did all right. The other one I did was faster and more dangerous.
Yeah, I don't think I would have lived another turn because were going to draw into a board wipe or something, right?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, if I had enough life to survive 80,000 dwarves, which is not going to happen. It was just or gnomes. Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. It's fine. The Animar, though, that deck went really well. So much so that I was immediately the bad guy. Because your wife is still new to the politics of the table. And the politics of the table are always kill Tommy because he's going aggro and he will kill us all quickly.
That's the rules of Commander with me.
Yeah, basically. Animar was fast, though. That went really well. So I don't think I have to make any changes to that, and I have that. I actually have all those cards already in a deck. I had that set up before we played because I was like, this is good enough. I'll play it in real life before I change it. So I don't think that one's going to change at all.
No, and you need a lot of games in Commander to know how to feel about
I just make new decks as soon as the deck works, man. Every time a deck gets good, I'm like, okay, this works. All right, now on to the next puzzle. I want to figure out this other thing.
The puzzle is fun.
That's for me, that's Commander. And again, I'm on a goal of I want every color combination. So that's like 40 some odd decks. It's going to take a while to get that done. And then I'll go back through them and kind of enjoy some of them. And I always play some of my old ones. Like when we get together in person, or when I get together in person at the pod, like I play my dragon deck almost every time because I love it. It's just my favorite like fun deck. Although this Animar might take the dragons out in my favorites because it's a lot of fun.
Nice. Yeah, I'm just gonna be
it's the
honing
same
that
color combination too, isn't it,
deck.
Miriam?
Yeah.
Dang, I duplicated by accident. This is me trying to figure out how to make disguise a thing. It's not a thing.
It's not a thing. It doesn't
spoiler
work.
note or spoiler alert. It's definitely not a thing. It's not worth it. It
doesn't.
I've tried 3 different decks. None of them worked. So, oh well.
And then anyways, I went to Star Wars this week.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I went 2-1 on the Han ramp deck. Mm-hmm. It's the new Han. The way the new Han works is you fatigue him, and you can play a unit from your hand for 1 less. The downside is that you have to deal 2 damage to that unit. So obviously you're paying a bunch of units with a bunch of health so that they live through that 2 damage. Or vice versa, you play units with 1 health that give you a benefit for killing it. So it plays a lot of ramp, and it plays, even though it is heroism, it plays Super Laser Technician, which is a 2/3/1, and when it dies, becomes a resource, and you ready it. So you can play that for 4 because you don't have the villainy aspect. So you're paying 5, but you're using Han's ability, so you're paying 4 for a resource immediately, which is one more than a resupply, which is 3, just a native single green card. But that doesn't come into play ready. This does, so you do get a little bit more benefit from that sometimes on curve. And then there's another interaction, turn 1, where you can play this 2/1, some kind of smuggler. I forget exactly what it's called. Actually, I have it here. I thought I did. Yeah, Reckless Gunslinger. When played, deal 1 damage to each base, so kind of like the Sabine ability. But then you combo that. You do that turn 1, play it for free, it dies. You need the other combo card, which is Spark of Hope, which is a 2 cost, that you put a target card from your discard that's a unit that was put there this turn, and turn it into a resource. So not only is it a resource, but now it also has the smuggle mechanic, so it can come back out at 3 from your resource row.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So there's just a lot of synergy, and it works really well. And you're ramping into Crate Dragon, which is a 10/10. So if you play it for 1 less, it's a 10/8 with Han's ability, which is still fine. Because once it's out, every card your opponent plays, whatever the cost is, you get to deal that much damage to one of their units or their bases. And by the time you are dropping a Crate Dragon, they are dropping expensive stuff too, unless you got an insane ramp. And then that also prevents them from... Oh, it also has Overwhelm, which is Trample. So it's basically ramp into Crate Dragon, win the game.
Yeah.
There are cards...
So you got there. Because we talked about this, the Crate Dragon and how pricey it was and all that. And the answer is you got there.
We got there. We got there.
Tommy figured it out with Hound.
I had someone scoop after I played this 2 Crate Dragons in a row. I played 1, and then they were like...
Salty. So salty.
Cool. And then I played a second one, and they were like, wait, so if I play a card, do both of those trigger? And I was like, yes. Because it is not unique, which is legendary.
Yeah.
So you can have multiple of those out.
Ooh, so rude.
Yeah.
So rude.
So I went 2-1, ended both of the games with Crate Dragon that I won. And then the one I lost was rough. It was against Akira, and I think I just lost to myself because I drew my 6 cards, had no turn 1 play, which means mulliganed. Had no turn 1 play.
Ooh.
Had a very mediocre turn 2 play, and just never caught up.
Yeah,
but I mean that's
just
card games. There are, and the most insane part about that is I have so many turn 1 plays in that deck.
Yeah, that is called a bad shuffle. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah,
It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. It happens.
Because even 3 drops, like 3 cost cards, you can play turn 1.
Yeah.
So like, there were a lot of cards I could have hit that would have been fine, but it was not. But we got the new play packs, organized play packs are out. So now they still have some of the set 1 ones. So now each week until they run out of the set 1 ones, we get one from set 1 and set 2. So that's pretty neat. I got a Grogu this week.
Nice.
And Surge Foil Greedo, which is pretty cool. It's one of the actually played ones from set 1. And then I got a Surge Foil Millennium Falcon, which is pretty sweet. And not the good Millennium Falcon, but still a cool looking card.
Yeah.
But yeah, still enjoying it. I just, with all the Coalition stuff, with
yeah, I was gonna say, do we just jump right into Star
stuff?
Wars?
Yeah, we
skip
can.
Fab for now. Let's do Fab after. Yeah, cool. Do it.
I don't know. I think what was the nail, I know we were talking about it last week, but the nail in the coffin for it for me was Asmodee selling on Amazon.
Yeah, that's a big shift in this universe.
It's
a bad look.
Especially with just being weeks after them canceling orders.
Yeah. Cutting how many orders? How many people got their allocations cut?
Everyone that ordered from them got cut to 1 box.
And now it's all on Amazon.
For the same price.
Undercutting the stores that are trying to support the freaking play.
They are selling for MSRP.
Yeah. But that's still, as a shop, that hurts. That hurts. Now, to their credit, or what we can say in favor of this tactic, is by having a fixed price on Amazon, which I assume they will have.
Yeah.
They are keeping the boxes affordable, so there's no gouging with the limited supply.
Correct.
It kind of forces the rest of the market to stop gouging anything. But
yeah, and I did just double check. It is $119.76 on Amazon still from Fantasy Flight Game Story.
Yeah, so I don't know. I find this to be a misstep, personally.
Yeah, I agree.
You got shops that are trying to support it. You got them trying to get people in, trying to draft, and those things have all been difficult to pull off because of supply constraints. And then they go and dump on Amazon. That's rude.
Yeah,
that's rude for the shops, to the shops.
Yeah. So, and then also when you look at the set 2 cards, they are some of the best selling, but that's because most people have their set 1 cards that they wanted. But you look at Poe, Krayt Dragon, and Darksaber, the kind of big 3 that would be equivalent to the Vader, Luke, Boba of set 1.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 43, 42, 38. Where now Luke's fallen down to 44, but Boba's still 54, and Vader's 65, which has come down as well. But then you look at the other legendaries, and there's just not, they're like $20 at most.
Yeah.
Showcases, still crazy. Showcases are still the collectible thing in this game, for sure.
Of course.
And you can tell, like, the ones that are being played a lot are more expensive than the ones that are not seen play. And we have seen some cards spike from the new decks that have popped up, like Fallen Lightsaber.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a $2, $3 card, just a rare from set 1. Now it's a $13 card because it's like the gas in the new aggro deck.
Yeah, that's the meta figuring out what's the most value, right?
Yeah,
basically. Yeah, that you get that period of like bubbliness around different cards.
Yeah, and I mean,
it's people thought were going to be awesome, and then in reality, they're not quite as good as people thought.
Yeah, and it is a new game, so not a lot of stores are opening a lot of boxes. So just
singles.
The depth of singles is pretty shallow on TCG Player.
Yeah.
So like, it does not take much for a card to just jump. But yeah. So I think next set, I'll grab a case from my local game store and open that, get my play set of commons and uncommons, hopefully. And then hopefully rares. And then get some legendaries, maybe a showcase. And then just buy singles from there.
Yeah, it's always been the way.
Yeah.
It worked. You got money.
I
got
lucky season 1 or set 1. Set 2, just it's not there, and I don't think it's going to be there for set 3. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the cards are.
Going to sell singles like you did for set 1 to try to offset your cost basis, or what's the plan, or do you have a plan?
I'm waiting a little bit, but I have sold some. I've sold maybe $300-$400 worth so far.
Gotcha.
I have a bunch of local friends that are buying cards off of me, so want to see what they need first before I just sell on eBay and stuff like that. So, because I don't know, it just makes more sense to do it
save fees and all that,
shipping
and like trade
headaches
for stuff
and
you might need. Yeah,
right, exactly. Yeah, and then that's been another thing too, because like
Star Wars, we had such high hopes.
Yeah, it's growing pains.
Yeah, frustrating.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope they figure it out, and I think they will. Maybe.
Yeah, they probably will. I mean, they were working on how many sets in advance, so I doubt they'll just kill all of them.
Oh no, I don't think I'm not that doom and gloom.
Oh, okay, that's good.
No.
Well, the option was figure it out or not figure it out. That was the presentation you gave right there. You're like, I think they'll figure it out, and it's like, well, if they don't, then they're dead, right?
Well, the hesitation of taking it back was, do they figure out this coalition thing in like true random?
Oh, that's fair. And I wonder, did they say anything about it yet, like publicly? Oh, that's bad.
Yeah,
they probably don't know yet.
Not that I've seen. They have to know. It's like most of the YouTube channels that cover Star Wars.
Oh no, I know they know about it, but know why. Like, you don't put out a press saying this is a fuck up, sorry guys, until you know what happened, right? You need to know how the fuck up happened so that you can say how you're going to fix it in the future. That's the ideal press move there. But to do that, you have to investigate what got screwed up. Like, where in the factory situation did it get screwed up? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're probably in the midst of trying to figure it out.
I hope so. Yeah. It also just seemed like hyperspace cards were harder to pull in set 2 as well.
Made the collectibles more collectible. Mm-hmm. Interesting.
But the prices aren't really reflecting that. So it may just be my sample size, but my sample size was 25 boxes. So I mean,
not
I feel like
that's not
a small sample size.
Not a small number.
No. And then comparing, because it's pretty much the same that I opened for set 1. And so, like, just comparing the two, it's not the same. But I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at. Playing wise, I'm still all in. Like, I'm still going every Tuesday. Still having a blast. Bringing new decks each week right now. I may not. We'll see. Past 2 weeks, I've brought new decks. We'll see if I build a new one for this week, just because I don't have much time between now and Tuesday. And I also need to get some games on Care Blast before playing it so that I can learn some interactions.
Right.
Maybe just make some tweaks to the deck. A buddy of mine wants to borrow the Han deck next week, so I may go back to Kylo. But he's so fast.
I was going to say, are you prepping for any events coming up or anything? Is there a tournament?
No.
Gonna spike somebody?
No. It hasn't. They did announce organized play. But right now it's just at bigger events. Like I think, what is it? Gen Con is the next big one. But I'm not going to that. I think that's next week. August 1st. Yep. So that's all next week. August 1st through the 4th. Next Thursday through Sunday. And they are changing how they're doing because they have those promos and stuff they had them at San Diego Comic-Con was the first one, and then Gen Con will be the second. I'm going to try and get them at PAX Unplugged in December if they're still available. I'm sure they set some aside for each event, but I guess it was a pretty big disaster. I didn't hear exactly what happened at Comic-Con, but there was, I guess, a giant line, and they had to limit it to basically giving people tickets at the front door, and whoever gets the ticket can buy one. But so you can't just go to the booth and buy it anymore.
Yeah, too much demand.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find. Exclusive. Yeah, they're not even available. They're out. They sold out on TCG Player. There were some listed for like $400.
Huh. So crazy. Aren't they $100 each too, or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy. That's a weird one. I don't know how I feel about all that personally.
I mean, they're gorgeous cards, but
yeah. I don't know. Yeah, that's a weird one. That's a weird one.
It also includes a card that's not out yet, that's coming out next set, which is weird.
That is a little strange.
And it includes Vader, the most expensive unit card.
They're trying to help the market, right?
Sure. 2 units actually that are new, because they have a Darth Maul unit. This unit can attack 2 units instead of 1. Because he has a double lightsaber.
That's fun.
And then Asajj is Asajj Ventress. We don't know what exploit is, but she has exploit 2.
So the new cards aren't really. Well, I guess if
they're not playable and
they are not allowed yet.
No.
Got it. So it's not like a crazy advantage or something to get.
No, but we know they're probably going to be in set 3 because it's going to be like a Clone Wars era set.
Oh sure, yeah, and
Separatist is going to be a keyword, and so it's like if you've attacked with another Separatist unit this phase, this unit gets +3/+0 this phase.
Yeah.
But Count Dooku stocks are going to go up. It's a good card. It's just it hasn't really found more than 1 of or 2 of in a deck kind of spot. I mean, it's a removal with a big body and with a shield.
You heard it here first. Tommy, stop picks.
I mean, Count Dooku is it's a good card. But, yeah. Sticky body, removal, 1 card. A little expensive, but it's fine. Cost 7. But, yeah, I mean, gameplay-wise, super hyped on Star Wars. The only downside, I guess, would be... The only negative thing I could say was I was hoping for a little bit more shake-up with set 2, but that may just be timing. In like a week or 2, more decks come out that people have been tuning and testing, or people are saving things for Gen Con, and things will come out.
Yeah, that post-release period plus the pre-big tournament period. Yeah, those are both key factors.
Yeah, so I'll keep my eye out, but enjoying the decks that I have right now.
It's cool. So you want to chat about some Flesh and Blood?
Yeah, Pro Tour Amsterdam happened. Do you know who won?
No, is it done yet?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I did not know who won.
Azuri.
That's unexpected. That's weird. It doesn't say it on the live blog. It still says the final.
Yeah. I went and watched the YouTube.
Oh, did it happen like this morning or something?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I was like, the page usually updates pretty quickly.
Got it. One of 2 in the almost 400 person Pro Tour. One of 2 Azuris that entered the event. Took the whole thing.
Made it all the way.
Made it all the way.
Played into the meta. This was a counter meta pick, is what I saw.
He was the only Azuri in the top 8. Out of
he was just terrified of running into Kano.
Yeah.
Because like, I can't beat Kano, but I can beat all the new and Zens.
There were 3 Zens, 3 News, and Levia.
Yeah, at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No Americans in top 8.
We suck. Get good, America. Also, it's Amsterdam, so
yeah.
Americans probably just didn't go that much.
We had Americans there. We had friends there.
Did we?
Yeah.
They did terribly.
Yep.
We're disappointed in them.
Yep.
Dang.
No, I'm sure they did fine. Just not top 8. I guess the closest was Tarek Patel is a Canadian, and he placed 3rd, but then lost in top 8.
Are you now claiming Canada for America? Is that what you just did?
The closest thing to an American.
You're like, he counts as one of ours because.
No, I said the closest. I didn't say he counts.
I know. I was just like, what? It's fine though. It's a hugely international game. It's cool.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. I love it.
Did you? So sorry, a little off topic, except it is the Amsterdam thing. Did you see the cosplay pictures?
Yeah, they were super cool.
They're so good. They're so good. That prism is crazy. I think that's a little hologram spinner thing.
Cosplay's gotten pretty nuts.
It's so cool. People are so creative. I always love this stuff. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah. It was very well done.
The Bravos, though, they did not match your Bravo, Tommy.
No.
The original, the OG cosplay champion here. Bravo champion.
No, we came in 3rd. But
whatever. Yeah. OG cosplay champion.
First Pro Tour.
These ones are no match for Tommy the Bravo.
No.
They were good though. Like it's crazy. Like all of the costumes are so good.
Oh, I'm always impressed.
Yeah. Anything else with Flesh and Blood? There are some other cards that have been revealed. I don't know if you want to talk about any of them. Some wizards have been revealed for the new set.
Mm-hmm.
Discard an instant draw card. A little robot.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy. Another one that does Banish Zone, so it really is Chain 2.0. Chain the Earth Rune Blade. Except it just creates more aura tokens. I'm not sure what... I guess that would be really good for... So what is this, an OTK style build? Is that what that's doing?
Maybe. Or I also heard Brainstorm Stonks are going up.
Hey, I have a whole stack of those. I bought those 1,000,000 years ago because I knew that card would be bonkers one day. I have a huge chunk of those.
Oh, never mind. They're up to $3.
Oh, yeah. Not a big deal.
They were 24 cents.
Yeah, they were cheap. That's when I bought a bunch of... Well, I don't know if I bought them at 24 cents, but I bought a bunch of them back in the day. They were definitely cheap. Everyone's like, this card is useless. I was like, it's not going to be forever.
No.
It's a wizard card in the making. Like, this is defining a new way for wizard to work. So, that's cool, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that seems interesting. Chain's back, in a way. Earth Chain. And then the healing one, healing trigger one. And what was the other one? The shooting star. Okay, lightning cards allow you to create lightning tokens, so go again for 2. Yeah, that's... I wonder if this set will end up busted again. If we get another ball lightning.
Another ball lightning 2.0.
Yeah, like, because honestly, I could see it happening.
But this time there's Arcane Barrier.
That's true. Yeah, built in. That was some of the cards they revealed.
Yeah, wasn't there one, like, if you're playing limited, you get this by default, or whatever?
Oh, I didn't see that. Yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
But I didn't see that. Yeah, it would make sense for an arcane set, like, just to automatically AB1 everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Split cards.
Split cards, yeah. Got our first split cards.
I don't like it.
No, I don't either.
I don't have a huge opinion because I don't play anymore, but I don't like it. Someone tell me why I'm wrong.
I mean, it's fine. It's just another option, but aesthetically, I don't like it.
Oh, you just don't like the borders on it. What was the thing you complained about that I was just like totally blown away? I couldn't even grasp. Oh, the boundaries. That's what it was. It was the boundaries on the dual class cards.
Yeah,
Right?
the borders.
You hated that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I didn't even notice it.
Yeah, because they have 2 different borders.
Yeah. Is this one of those situations where it's just like you don't like the way they laid out the card?
No, I mean, I think it's just telling because I don't know. I always reread cards like when they're in my hand, right? And it's just a tell because you have to like then turn it a little sideways to read it.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't
Then,
even think about that. Yeah, that's fair.
or you have to be like sneaky and be like you put it in the front of your hand and then like put it down, put all your cards down in front of you, and then read it on its side. I don't know. I'm sure there's ways to sneakily not tell your opponent that you have the dual card, but it may not even matter because it may not be played that often.
So this is a weird one. Meld, you may play one or both halves of this card. Each cost 2. I don't know how I feel about that. With these wizard actions, that could be pretty cool. Yeah, they're all meld. I missed that. I didn't notice. I thought they were just option cards. I didn't realize you could play both. All right. I revised my opinion. These are cool. From a gameplay standpoint for wizard stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all instant action? Yes, they are. They're all instant action. So you have instant action or both if you have the resources. That gives wizards card advantage.
Yeah, true.
Because you can play both. Like, that's actually... Okay, I changed my mind completely.
Or what is,
I read the cards, now I understand
and
I think it's awesome.
Is it card advantage, or is it just...
Well, only if you are managing your resources. Yeah, exactly. So it's not really card advantage, especially with things like discard a card, right? Like, that's not... Now you lost 2 cards for that one. So, yeah. Anyways, interesting. I think it's better than I thought it was. I didn't realize. I thought it was one or the other. Yeah. Classic Magic split card. So, whatever. Fab seems to be doing Fab things.
Yeah. Good for them. There's the burn up and shock too, and then each costs 0.
What's that?
One of the dual cards is burn up and shock, and it's meld. You may play one or both halves of this card. Each costs 0.
Yeah, that one's good.
The next time an attack you control hits a hero this turn, deal 4 arcane damage to them, go again, and deal 1 arcane damage to any target. For 0.
But the 1 arcane is not an attack, so it won't trigger the burn up. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But it still sets up a plus damage to the swing, and it's a freaking...
And then the opponent has to choose.
It's a rune blade. They're gonna swing. Yeah, like it's gonna happen. That's cool. I don't know. It sounds like a fun set.
Yeah. No, it seems neat. Possibly 5 damage off of 1 card for 0.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
No.
Very rune blade like.
Yeah.
Unflavored.
Yeah. Maybe I'll draft this one. We'll see. When's it out? I think it's out like right during my crazy busy season.
Yeah, I think you couldn't make it to the events because you're in Vegas or something.
Oh, no. It's right when I come back, September 20th.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Yeah. I think that's the release date of it. Yeah, that's so the pre-release. Yeah, I'll be in.
Is on. That's what I thought. Yeah. I was like, I think I remember you're gone for that one because you talked about it.
Yeah. Pre-release is the 13th through the 16th. Yeah, I'm gone that weekend. But maybe we'll.
All right. What else we got?
We got the Magics.
All the Magics.
All the Magics. We got
Tommy
opinions.
thinks Bloomborough is terrible and is crashing.
No.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Say your piece.
So what I was talking about and referring to was the play boxes. So we have. I was possibly going to a pre-release when we talked last week. I did not go. I had other obligations that I had to do. So, and also, it just, I don't know. I didn't feel up to it. And it was $50, which seems expensive for a pre-release.
That's fair. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. And I much prefer our little limited at home hangout. So
yeah, well, I like it too.
Yeah, and I was just like, wait, these pre-release packs usually go for not $50.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But I mean, you're paying for the space, you're paying for the people that gathered, and you're paying. And there are like prize packs. I think it was best of three rounds or 4 rounds, and then you get an extra pack for each win. But it's still pricey, yeah.
And is that more than previous Playbox pre-releases, or do you know?
No, it's at that store. It's been the same ever.
That's the same price. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was just curious if they were pumping for Bloomborough or not.
No.
I wonder how it did.
No. I'll ask on Tuesday. Get my stickers. Whenever a new set comes out, the store puts out stickers for the Magic set because Magic sends stickers to the WPN stores.
Uh-huh.
And so then on my matte tube, I just collage it with stickers. No. And it's been fun. The Bloomborough ones, I'm sure, will be good.
Yeah, I bet. They're freaking adorable.
Yeah. But I was thinking about just grabbing a box and then we could play it. But now looking down the road, I think by the time we finish the March of Machine box we have open, and by the time we finish the MKM box we opened, these play boxes will be a lot more affordable. But I guess that also depends on where standard's at, because we also have standard rotation at the end of the month, and I know people don't play standard, but some people do. And then I don't see this set really having much impact in other formats. Maybe a card here and there, but I think it's a standard set. It's meant to shake up standard. It's the beginning of a standard rotation. A lot of cards are leaving, so I think a lot of cards will be added from Bloomborough because you just have a smaller pool. I'm working on a white-red Boros bunny deck, so we'll see how that goes.
Does rotation, is it like it used to be where like some things stay in, and I'm not talking about just the last two sets, but like a good chunk? Is it like 4 out, 4 in sort of thing, or how do they do it now? I know it's different. Or do you know?
Yeah, so Dominaria United is the oldest set that will be still in standard.
Okay, so yeah, a bunch of sets still in. Got it.
Yeah, a bunch of the current sets are still going to be in. So right now, current standard goes all the way back to Midnight Hunt. So we're losing Midnight Hunt. We're only losing 4.
Okay, yeah, so it is a 4 out. Yeah, I get it. Okay, that's good. And then this
Bloomborough is the beginning of the 4 being added.
Yeah, but it's not just 4, right? Because doesn't this standard last for like a long time or something? With
Foundations does, and we'll get to that.
Okay.
Foundations is the one.
At all anymore.
Foundations is the one that they're saying is gonna last.
Does not rotate
next 5 years.
For 5 years or something. We don't really know. They didn't give a hard number on that. Just
right.
At least
2029 is what they said.
Yeah. So wild, weird. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. So we're losing Midnight.
You know what's interesting about that?
Kamigawa and New Capenna.
Yeah. If they do that right, and Foundations serves as literally the foundation for standard set. So you got your Elf, Mana Dorks, you got your basic signets, things like that, right? All the base cards that are just used in this game.
Yeah.
It frees up slots in sets to have more new cards.
Yeah.
Instead of reprints. Because they reprint those cards every set.
Yeah.
Now, the question is, do we get more cards and creativity, or do the packs go down to like 7 cards? Because it is Wizards. Like,
for Foundations?
Going forward on standard sets, they just basically cut the number of cards in a set in half, or not half.
Oh,
but you know what
I see what you mean.
Because they don't need to keep those in there, right? I don't know.
Maybe they do for limited.
It's a joke. It's more of a joke than anything. It doesn't actually make sense, but yeah. It's Wizards, so if they could get a little extra money.
Yeah. I mean, I'm interested in drafting foundations, for sure.
Is it draftable?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
Oh yeah, they have a play booster, so of course
yeah.
it is. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds boring, but we don't know enough about it to actually know, in my opinion.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
And there are some bombs. They've already shown off some bombs. So.
Yeah.
And that clearly are meant for constructed and not limited. So I'm not sure how focused on limited they are for the set. I'd assume, because the bombs don't really seem like, oh, I can build around this. It's
staples.
Yeah. You can build around it in constructed, but not for limited. Just expensive cards that you're never going to get to, essentially.
Not expensive after this.
Expensive cost or play wise.
Mana cost
wise. Yeah, no, I don't think anything in Foundations will hold a high price.
No, that's the whole point. Like whatever. That's why it's like I wonder. I'm curious because I don't know. I haven't seen the bombs that you're talking about. I'm like, what are they tanking like from a financial value?
No.
If there's some good stuff in there, like I just think like Crater Hoof Behemoth feels like something that would fit in there because it's just been around a lot, and it's the cornerstone of green, or things like that. You know,
yeah, it's like Llanowar Elves.
That's what I mean. It has like no place that it belongs necessarily. It's just one of those things that's used in a lot of different builds.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a 4-mana destroy all creatures board wipe in standard for 5+ years.
Yeah, well, that's expensive. People will minimize the use of that. I mean, yeah, board wipe for 4.
Yeah,
isn't that expensive?
I think that's good because you aren't gonna want to play that before 4 because the creatures aren't out yet.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Isn't Wrath like 4?
And then there's Anthem of Champions, which is
a green Wrath is 4. That's on 4. Yeah, and that's I guess it is one of the better ones for sure.
Yeah,
but it's not like unusual.
No. The other ones they showed off was Anthem of Champions, which is 1 green, 1 white. Enchantment creatures you control get +1/+1.
That's interesting. I did not realize they're bringing in like multicolor. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay.
And
theme stuff. Yeah, green, white enchant. Yeah, of course.
Yep. Omniscience, which is 7 and 3 blue.
The blue. Yeah.
You may cast spells from your hand without paying their mana cost. So that'll be around.
So good. I have a super pretty version of it.
The one that's my favorite is 9 Lives Familiar, which is 2 black and 1 colorless for a 1/1 cat creature. And it enters with 8 revival counters on it. When this creature dies, if it had a revival counter on it, return to the battlefield with 1 fewer revival counter on it.
I love
at the beginning of the next end step.
I love it. That's actually a really good way to prevent the infinite loop stuff that a lot of those create. That's fun. I like the theme too. It just feels right.
Yeah.
Cat's got 9 lives.
Yeah.
9 death triggers. That's enough. That's enough to do things. If you can't get it done in 9 death triggers, well, build a better combo.
And the cat's just playing with its previous live skull.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's creepy. That's fun.
The subtext reads, her master gathered the bones to resurrect her, only to find her purring on the altar.
That's so fun. That's so fun. I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So, Tommy, you think Bloomberg is going to crash down to $88 a box for play boxes?
Nah, in 6 months maybe, yeah.
MKM prices at 6 months, he says.
I'd say so. Unless...
Go ahead.
Unless there's somehow a bunch of cards that take off or standard gets more popular. So that's the whole caveat thing that I'm looking at right now with the play boxes. Is the popularity of standard. Does this push Magic's doing to make standard a thing again happen?
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely plenty of supply of play boxes. Like I'm looking
and
it
it's
all the way back to MKM, and
yep.
the price is down at distro there, right?
Correct.
So
it's now
the
discounted.
oldest set is cheaper right now in play boxes. So this is where Tommy's theory, it's not complete nonsense.
No.
It's like a reasonable thought process. I just don't know if it's going to be as bad as MKM.
No,
I
it
think
may not.
part
It
of
may
that
not.
is
It
that
may not
MKM was not a good set either, you know?
Yeah, it didn't really do much for standard.
It was also a confusing set to play, you know, from a drafting standpoint. I think that was a big complaint. Yeah. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of negatives on MKM, which is why I'm like, I don't think Bloomberg gets down that low. Because at the very least, it's got the positive of the cute animals, right? So that's
but if
just
the singles aren't worth it, it just stops getting open as much.
Agreed. And that's where it's a question of like, how does this fit into the power level creep that we've been talking about? And is this one the step back, you know? Because if it is the step back, then it's mostly the cuteness that carries it. And, you know, and the fun cards, there's good cards in it. It's not like a terrible set, but it's not, I wouldn't call it like a super bomb set or a super power set. At least as far as I can see so far. Now, am I crazy? I don't know.
I also just think there's
so many good themes in here, though. So many people are like, I can't wait to make my rabbit, my mouse, my otter deck, my bunny deck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got to have these cards for that because it's so tribal.
But how many of these people are going to be, oh, I can't wait to make my horror deck next month?
It's a good question.
Because
good chunk of them probably.
The amount of because you also have to think of the rate of how much attention. Yeah. Like, yes, Bloomburrow will get a lot of attention this month.
Yeah.
What about next month when Duskmourn's out?
Yeah, that's fair.
Maybe Foundations will bring in new people, and then Standard gets big. Maybe because there's a modern event that fires when I go play Star Wars on Tuesdays, and for most of set 1, there was 15, 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
After MH3, that like doubled.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking to one of the guys that works at the store, and he was just like, Modern's nuts. I don't know where all these Modern players came from, but they're here now. They're like, he was just blown away.
Yeah, they'll be gone in 3 months, though.
Yeah.
That's the problem with Modern. It doesn't change enough to make it super fun to stay active in it.
Yeah.
Like because it is a very competitive format. Like I think it filters out people that aren't that good or can't afford the decks because they do get very expensive to be competitive.
Fair. And then, so do then those people fall and just follow the line of the next new thing, which is Foundations and Standard, and do those people that fall off of Modern move to Standard?
Or back to Commander, because I feel like that's the default location for most people.
Commander's fun. I just could never see myself really being into it the way I am with Star Wars, or I was with Flesh and Blood. It's just a very different thing.
It's not that game.
It's not right.
And it by design.
Right. No, exactly. Really. No, I'm just saying that Commander is not the game for me.
Yeah, it's not one of those.
It is a game I enjoy playing.
That's why you play with 4 people too, because it's more about the social than it is about the maximizing efficient.
Absolutely.
Speed. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And goofy shit happening. That's the other thing that it's known and loved for.
Yeah.
Like, look at this weird thing I did with these cards you've never heard of, and neither had I before I looked it up.
Yeah. I'm just very much 60 card 1v1 is how I prefer. Or 40 cards if it's limited or whatever.
Yeah.
50 if it's Star Wars. But I don't know. I am excited because I am excited to draft Bloomburrow. Don't get me wrong there. I've been grinding my gold on Arena again. Made it to Diamond. So moving on up. Probably just because not a lot of people are playing right before rotation. But I got there. And
it counts.
It counts. Yeah, so I got a bunch of gold to be able to draft Bloomburrow next week. I have 2 tokens that I'll use for the Premier drafts, and then I'll probably wait until Quick Draft comes out, and then just grind Quick Draft because it's the more cost effective for gems and gold to build a collection. So it also is just a lot more flexible. Like I know it's not like ideal to Quick Draft compared to Premier Draft, but I don't know. I just enjoy the.
Who cares if it's what you enjoy doing? Like who cares?
Yeah.
And you grind your gold back up. It's not like it's a big deal. You still are going to play it either way, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. I want to go back real quick to the concept of the $85 Bloomborough play box.
Oh yeah, no, I did want to go back to it. Yeah,
little facetious on that. I know you don't really think it's that bad, but the reason I want to go back is I was thinking a little bit about my own perspective on some of this, because at first when you said that, I was very hard. No way, no way, no way. Bloomborough is too cute. Like it's not going to crash as much, even if it's not as powerful. But in agreement with you, I'm also not speed buying my collector box. Like there's downside to this price position right now, obviously, for the next couple of weeks. It's standard set, no serialized cards, at least I don't think so, although I think we said that about MKM, and that's not true. There are actually serialized cards in there. They're just so rare they don't count. I forgot about that. I actually completely forgot about that until I was opening a collector box. I was like, oh yeah, there's a chance. I was like, that's not gonna happen. Anyways, but the Bloomborough ones, like I can see that getting under 200. So
yeah, especially when the second wave comes
around 100.
Out. Because we've seen
exactly.
the second wave with OTJ.
It's a standard set. They're gonna have more. Like it'll be here for a while. So yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll go as low as 85 though, or 82, whatever. I think the low for MKM was. Could be wrong. MKM was the first. Who knows? Maybe they all glide path down to that level.
And I'm not saying like the TCG player price will be there, right? I'm saying that you will be able to find deals in the 80s.
Oh, you're cheaty TikTok. Pay me with your info. That's it. I mean, nah.
I'm not even talking about that.
Oh, okay. I was about to say you're just talking about regular shops at doing a flush sale.
Yep. Yeah, like Fortune Fire or whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. You will probably see some deals on those.
They've had MKM for like $80.
Or they haven't had the other sets that often. That's the thing. Like that's the bad set. So of course.
But it's also the oldest. The only other one is MKM or is OTJ and Modern Horizons, right? So we still just have a small.
Doesn't count. Yeah, that's true. That's fair. We have a very small sample size to go off of right now.
Yeah.
We're 2 and then release day, imminent.
Yeah, and I really do think what's helping hold OTJ up is that extra set of cards that they threw in there.
And the power of it is partially because of that. Like I think that is a thing. So it may be OTJ is just the outlier, and then the rest are MKM like. I still don't think it will be the same because MKM had a very bad reception.
Sure, and that
has a huge reception. But I think you're right. I think you're going to see something in between the two.
Because I think at the end of the day, it's still the price of singles.
Yeah, agreed. All right, we're on the same page. Yeah. I don't disagree as much as I thought I did.
No.
Dang it! I was hoping we got a good fight out of this.
I mean, we loved Kaldheim, right? How cheap was Kaldheim draft boxes forever?
Oh, that's a different day and age completely.
Sure, no, I know.
Like that's a hard comparison to make. Like everything was different then at that era.
That's true. It still is.
Yeah. So I do want to throw out some numbers, and one of the reasons I was originally hard against what you were saying is because just in the pre-sale for Bloomborough versus Markov sold 8,700 boxes, a little bit over 500,000, almost 700,000, I guess, in sales. Bloomborough in pre-release sold 18,800. You know what I mean? Like it's a marked difference in we like the little cute animal cards. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely.
So I think that alone is going to keep it buoyed for a bit. But you're right. It is a standard set. It will come down. How low, we shall find out.
And I think another bump that this set might get on release is this seems like a Magic set. And what I've been hearing from both personal friends and online is, oh, maybe my partner will play this set with me.
Yeah, that's true. That is definitely going to be a demand
And
driver.
so, yes, correct.
Yeah, yeah.
But how long does that demand last? It
Not
doesn't.
long. Not
Exactly.
long. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're right about that. You're right.
And it's a standard set, so the box will
Yeah.
be around for
Be
many
around. Yeah.
years.
Yeah. 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 Hey, we don't talk about this often, but I just got an email that reminded me that it was happening. And since we're talking about Magic and it's Magic related, the secret layers.
Monty
Did you
Python.
did you see that? I
I want
cannot
it.
wait for that.
I
I am
want it.
actually
I
buying
am
that. I
tempted.
don't buy mini secret layers. I'm buying that one. The
I am tempted.
freaking bird of paradise is a pigeon carrying a freaking coconut.
There's
How can you
two.
not own that?
There's two.
I
There's an
don't care. I want
African
that one.
swallow and what's the other one?
I don't know.
African and Norwegian swallow? No.
I don't know. Whatever it is.
There's
It's
two
so
different
fun.
ones.
It's
But they're
ridiculous.
both birds of paradise.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Very,
the flavor text on them are pretty good too.
yeah, it's I have to own those cards. I'm sorry. I'm definitely buying them.
Yeah.
24 hours from this moment. That's why, because it just hit 24 hours a little bit
And
ago.
dismember is 'tis but a scratch. Scratch your arms off.
I have to own these cards. I don't care. You can't keep them from me.
Are you gonna build a Tim the Enchanter deck?
I was looking at Tim.
There are some who call me Tim.
Oh man, I don't know.
Bring out
we'll
your
see.
dead. Oh, it's so good.
It's good.
African
it's
swallow. That's it. African and European swallow.
Yeah.
And their flavor text continue on the other one. It's not a question of where he grips it is on the one, and then the other one is it's a simple question of weight ratios.
I don't care. I have to own it. You cannot keep it from me.
And then we want a shrubbery, one that looks nice and not too expensive.
Nice. Yeah.
It's so good.
It's very rare that I get excited for a secret layer, but this one I'm definitely excited for.
Castle
I have
of
bought
Awe.
some. I bought the Assassin's Creed Da Vinci art ones. I thought they looked really cool, and they're like really nice artifact pieces. Like they're the type of cards you're going to use in decks. You know. So that's one of the reasons I got it, because I was like, oh, these are mostly useful. I might build something new that I hadn't thought about because of how this one works. Like one gives myriad, right, which is awesome. It's just they're just useful pieces. So, anyways, and I like the art, so I got it. But that was probably I think that was the second or third total secret layer I ever got, and the other one was the deck, the two-face deck or whatever.
Yeah.
Way back in COVID.
The only one I ever purchased was actually from a store, and it was the Walking Dead one.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't realize you got that from a store. Yeah.
Yeah, they had it. It was cheap.
Yeah, I don't do those very often, but I'm definitely getting the Monty Python one.
I was doing a reread of the Walking Dead comic during that time, so I was just like, this seems fun. And it was when we were getting into Commander, and so that's when I built the Michonne zombie deck.
That was gross. It was a gross fun. Deck.
It's in pieces now, but it's fine.
Yeah, I think I have some of it, don't I?
Do.
Didn't I get some of that? Yeah. I don't know if I ever built that deck, whatever I was building at the time. Some zombie thing.
Didn't it go into Dina or whatever?
No. No, Dina's Goyfs. Maybe there was some resurrection type cards that I took and put in there, because she definitely has that. And I don't have I've never played graveyard stuff, so that's actually probably why I got it. And then I was like, well, I've always thought about building a zombie deck, I've just never gotten around to it, so I'll do it eventually for sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Not that I can think of.
World of Magic is magicked.
Yeah. I mean, I'm enjoying it. Just, I don't know. I don't know.
You're what?
On the verge of figuring out what 60 card Magic format I want to get into.
You think modern? You're going to do modern?
I don't know.
I feel like it's the most likely to be your ballywig or area of enjoyment, but
probably the problem comes with that would be my second card game.
Yeah.
And modern is on the same night as Star Wars.
Oh, yeah, that is a different problem. That's also a problem. Yeah, good point. Yeah, I was thinking the price, honestly.
No.
I figured you wouldn't really want to put the money into it because it's not cheap.
I would just buy singles and build a deck.
Yeah, but it's not cheap.
Right.
Like, yeah.
But
that's all.
So I am.
But yeah,
leaning...
the scheduling thing. That's a big deal.
Yeah. So I'm leaning because I do tend to have Friday nights free. So I was thinking about, and they do have standard Friday nights. So I was going to inquire this week to see how those fire and how many people come, because I am curious, because it is a big store. Like, I'm sure they have it. I'm sure it fires, but I'm not sure how many.
Yeah.
Because it's also then something that I can grind on Arena, learn the decks for free, find the deck I like, and then be able to go play it. Does that make sense? Especially with Foundations and everything coming, it seems like we're on the verge of it picking up if it happens. And I've never played in a Magic event in a store.
What? That's insane.
Correct.
I've played at Magic events in packs, like random places. I didn't know you'd never played in a store. That's wild.
I've never played Magic in a store.
Wow. I am blown away to learn that fact.
Well, it was COVID. Like when I was before COVID, like when I played in high school and before high school, it was just kitchen table stuff. And then we got into cards at the beginning of COVID, and then we didn't go to stores.
Yeah, that was all digital.
And then when we came out of COVID, I jumped right into Flesh and Blood.
That's fair. Yeah, it's actually that it does track, because I was going in like 2021 to the store and just playing Friday Night Magic, which is what got me back to doing this at all in like a real way, not just like us,
right? And you were talking about that, but I never went.
Yeah, and then you pulled me into Flesh and Blood. I think you were the one who moved me towards that, and then I was like, oh, this is really cool, and then found the shop in West Philly, which ended up creating that whole friend group. Which is now breaking up. Sad. That's what we were at the party last night.
No, it's not.
It's breaking up. Don't pretend it's not. We're going to be hours apart. We'll still see each other occasionally, but
only some of us.
Yeah, it's breaking up slowly. It's fine. It's been a really good friend group. I was definitely feeling sentimental last night. I was like, oh,
absolutely.
We've had such a good time together.
Yeah.
To get back to the point of Magic standard possibility, for the first time, and I don't know if this is new, if you're listening and you pay attention to these things, let me know in the comments, but first time I've ever noticed, TCG Player has a top banner headline article, 50 plus MTG decks for Bloomborough that are for standard. So it's 50 decks based on Bloomborough stuff, not just though, right? Like it's all the standard stuff.
What do you see? I see the top 10 cards.
They switch their banners. You know how that goes. So it flips, like refresh a bunch of times. It'll probably show up here. I'll just send you the link, but it's on there. But point being is, I don't think I've ever seen this before. They just put out a new one, a new series under this. They're trying to build up content. So I think they're doing deals with like Magic and such to try to highlight different things.
Interesting.
Hence standard help, right? This is 50 decks. 50 decks to jump people right into standard. Like, come on, that's crazy. And they did a similar thing with Commander. They called it the Commander Zoo or something like that. That's not what it was, but it was something like that. And it was like every single deck and deck breakdown for a commander that they've done in the past like 3 or 4 years or something like that. So it's like all these recent articles. So you can basically just scroll through it, find a color combination you like, click it. It's a full deck, a guide, how it works, details, and you can just kind of, go from there. So, which is awesome. I personally love that, because I would say 50% of my struggle with Commander is like deciding what to build.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like what inspires me. So I'll just like flip through my cards until I find something that inspires me. Sometimes it'll be a card, not a commander.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, I want to build based on disguise, right? Things like that.
Yeah.
But this will give me different ideas or make me think in ways I've never thought about. Because I fall into the same traps. I end up doing black, green, or blue. Like I do my same patterns every time. I'm like, oh, I'll just duplicate all the tribals. Like, why not? That's what I do. So it's good to be forced into different perspectives. So
yeah. Also, something I didn't think about was the value of MKM post rotation.
Why is that?
Because we have a smaller card pool. I wonder if more cards bubble up from MKM into standard.
Possibly. Yeah, it's a question of like how big a market is that? You know?
I mean, it may just be commons, uncommons, like cheap cards that don't really go anywhere, but there's still cards that are seen play.
Yeah.
I think Dominaria United's really the one that I wish that kind of went to.
Oh, because you're just sick of the cards. I feel like that's always the case in rotation, though. I remember that from way back.
The one that's oldest is you're just
like, it's like, oh, why is it still in for another however many months? Yeah. I will say these standard decks look cheap. These lists, like it's 300, kind of like the high. Yeah, there's some under 100.
Yep.
So I'm curious if they're any good. I have no way of judging this, but.
No, it'd probably look like $200 to $300 for a good standard deck, is what I'm assuming. But I mean, that's a collector box, right?
Yeah, so it's a very reasonable cost for something you can continue to tweak and evolve as the sets rotate and new stuff comes in. You know what I mean? Like I get it. I see the attraction. Like I get that. That makes sense. And talk about getting a point of mastery with something like. Because it's so long, because it's slow evolves. Like I get it. I get.
And that's what I like. I like to just grind, and it's just been ingrained in me since World of Warcraft as a kid. I want to, like you said, just master something.
Yeah, I get it.
Master a deck.
Not for me, but I get it, because for me it's like the new thing. That's my drive, is like learn something new, and I hate repeating something forever. It makes me crazy. It's like once I feel like I understand it, even if I haven't mastered it, I'm like, I could master it if I want to spend a bazillion hours on it, but I'd rather learn something new. Like I know I could see the path. Like it's just grinding until it's like instinct, and I've done it. I've mastered certain things. I don't want to spend my time doing that.
That's fair.
If there's a reason to, I'll do it. But the cards is not the thing that drives me towards mastery.
Yeah.
How many hours have I stared at financial charts and learned financial things? That I have more than 10,000 hours in, because it seems useful.
Well, sure. But yeah, I don't know. Just something I've been thinking about.
Yeah. Well, you have to let us know as that journey happens or doesn't.
Yeah. We'll see. Because if the deck I was playing right now, the Boros deck I was playing in standard right now was around longer, I probably would just go buy those cards and play those. But because it's a pretty cheap deck.
Buy them anyways and keep them for Commander.
Oh, the singles, yeah, the 1-ofs, I may.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, because I keep forgetting. Yeah, standard.
You're gonna need 4.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah, my theory was just totally stupid. Forget that idea.
I don't need
terrible
4.
idea. Yeah, it was a terrible idea.
But, yeah, it'll be fun. We'll see what happens. I am really enjoying Arena, so it just fits into my schedule when I need it.
Yeah.
Get a quick game in. Get that fix. But cool. I think that's all I got, unless you got anything.
Nope.
Cool. Well, until next week, I'll catch you guys later.
Have a good one.